Most games finish with a grand treasure or reward, and while you do get the Blackwater money at the end of the RDR2 prologue, there's another treasure you receive at the end of Chapter 6. I was playing a lot of Red Dead 2 this past week, and for whatever reason, instead of replaying the main story, or robbing trains and shops, or any number of activities like that, I caught myself exploring the original map of 2010's Red Dead Redemption. Now you might be wondering why. After all, this part of the world is mostly empty, some might say dead even. In fact, the town of Armadillo is quite literally dying of cholera. But there I was, exploring the open desert, roaming aimlessly, just me and my thoughts, embracing every beautiful second of it. Before we start, I just want to say that if you enjoy the video, then do leave a like. If you want more content like this, then subscribe, as it would greatly help the channel, as I do take bringing the best possible content to you very seriously. And if you could, all I ask is share the channel to anyone else who may enjoy this, as being a small channel is extremely difficult to get in front of the right eyes. So why do we play games? For me, I enjoy history and being able to experience something like the Wild West or World War II, which is nice when it's something you cannot do in real life. For some of us, it is escapism, a way to be distracted from the real world because maybe you're not satisfied with the world you live in. The same can be said for books and movies. We always seek to distract ourselves. In books and movies, it is storytelling and characters. In games, it's objectives and checklists to cross off, waypoints to go to. Always finding something to do, somewhere to go, always on a timer, always distracted. Now, onto a seemingly unrelated story that will make sense later. On a recent trip to Yosemite National Park, a trip that was supposed to be wild and away from civilizations and people, it wasn't. Crowds of people were everywhere. Cars lined the roads in and out of the park. I sat in traffic for an hour and a half inside of the park on a trip that was supposed to get me away from my morning commute to work. Instead, I was there, in a beautiful park, surrounded by loud cars, rangers directing traffic, and strings being pulled outside of my control. This whole trip to get away from these strings instead had me tangled in them. This is Red Dead 2's main map, a massive, beautiful area, a place that is seemingly open but the strings of civilization cling to you still, distractions at every turn, cities and wagons, and towns everywhere. When you first see the original map, you are filled with wonderment. What adventures lay ahead? What had Rockstar filled this whole new world with? But when you begin exploring, you find that it is desolate. Both specks of civilization on the frontier are dying. Armadillo from cholera and Tumbleweed dying due to crime, a tyrant sheriff, and a railroad not stopping by. I used to wonder why the old map was locked away for most of the game, but now I understand, or at least I think I do. It is what you strive for the whole game. Open, free land without a bother around every corner. No Pinkertons, bickering families, bustling cities, no one on the side of the road in need of a ride to town. Just land, endless sky, and you taking it all in. The open southwest of the map isn't an Easter egg for fans of the original game. Instead, it is the reward, not just for nostalgia, but to communicate the feeling the game has been having you strive for. An open world that isn't trying to distract you at all turns. It's a world for you to be with yourself, a place to think, a place for peace away from the conmen and crooks of the East. You aren't just leaving your past behind metaphorically as John Marston, you are leaving that world literally and physically as well. Your reward is the authentic feel of the Wild West, the reason it was so enchanting. It was a frontier where you're a speck of sand in a desert, and that makes this entire section of the map so magical. The main map is crowded, people and things to do are plentiful. Every painstaking detail Rockstar went to make the world of RDR2 was worth it, and it is a fantastically well done game. But the original map leaves that all behind and offers something more authentic and an intimate experience, with your actions carrying more weight. Crafting different arrows or bullets mean more in an area where each pull of the bowstring and draw of the revolver carries more value than they do in the resource-plentiful areas back east. Gunfights in towns or the main story may see you expend 100 or so bullets, but out here, 6 or less usually does the trick. I discovered things I never even used in the main game, certain mechanics and approaches to activities that seemed tedious and needlessly convoluted in the fast-paced main world now meant more. There wasn't a bustling town where I could easily restock my food or ammo supplies. Again, my decisions carried more weight than previously. I think the point I'm trying to make is that instead of the world being alive to guide you on a path, it lets you be the living one, the one who makes the decisions in this desolate world. The strings are cut and you have everything you have strived for in the main story, a free, open land away from civilization where you make your decisions and they carry actual weight. No one to guide you to a mission or to a waypoint, just you, the world, and your thoughts, and in the simplest way, that is beautiful. Thank you all for watching. If you want to connect with me more, then check out my Twitter, and as always, I will see you in the next video.